Blockhead? So while I was doing a mod on the CBR, I came across a problem. Had it up on the lift and I noticed this small oil spot on the vise. Before that, I had seen that this part of the bike was a little dirty, and so turns out my forks are leaking. So I looked into a couple of solutions, and the first solution was the cheapest and easiest. Basically, they say that your forks start to leak for one of two reasons. So the first reason being if there is dirt or debris inside of the seal, which is going to be in here. This little outer piece right here is basically not the seal, it's the like the dust cover. So we're gonna pull that down, and then underneath there is the seal. As you guys can tell, there is like some sand and debris and stuff around here, so I'm more than willing to bet that is the reason, because I don't do wheelies, and that the second reason is from people doing wheelies and coming down too hard. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna wipe all this up. We're gonna take this little dust cover off. They said that sometimes they'll start to leak, basically if they're so old that the rubber has started to dry rot, but this bike is from 2015, so it's not that old, and the rubber feels perfectly intact. So it's definitely not that. It's more than likely debris inside of the seal. So I'm gonna wipe it down. We've got a microfiber. Get the oil off that's on here right now. One of the things I asked was, is it okay to ride if your fork is leaking oil? And the biggest thing that I came across, as well as asking a mechanic at Honda, was that the risk you take is the oil leaking and getting on your brake pads, which is going to totally do away with any of your braking power on that side. And then once it gets into your braking system, you basically have to take it apart and change out your pads. You also run the risk, if there's enough oil leaking out of it, of ruining the actual, I forget what they call it. There's a part in here that can ruin if it doesn't have enough oil. I would just say try to fix it as soon as you can. So that's what we're doing. All right, so we got the dust cover off, press down. As you guys can see, there is a considerable amount of oil there. So what they say is that you want to try and clean out and get as much debris out of here as you can before using this little tool. This little tool here, it's called a seal mate. What you're going to do is you're going to run this hooked end between the fork and the seal, trying to pull the debris out. Do it like that. Shove it up in there, make it go around a couple times, like this, and it should pull any debris that is in there. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean this up, get a clean towel. You want everything to be clean from this point forward, right? Well, I mean at every point, but you don't want to put any more debris or dirt or anything onto the fork that you're going to shove up there with the tool. So clean shop towels, clean microfiber, whatever you're using, make sure it's clean. All right, that's coming out pretty clean, so I think we're good. And whenever I'm done with this, I'm gonna clean this up too, just to make sure that we're not putting anything else into there, right? I mean, you can see like little bits and pieces of stuff. Get out a little wire brush or a little nylon brush and scrub that. So the directions on this basically say to clean the entire area around the dust seal with contact cleaner and a towel, and to do the same, remove the dust seal, clean the entire area around the oil seal with contact cleaner and a towel, and then insert the rounded area behind the hook into the oil seal. Then rotate the tool vertically so the seal mate tool is parallel to the fork tube. This should be inserted approximately a ½ inch deep. Then you gently rotate the seal mate tool around the oil seal fork tube several times, making sure that the hooked end is the leading edge. This will remove dirt that currently holds the seal open. Continue rotating as you remove the tool. Compress the fork several times, wipe off any excess oil on the fork tube, and continue to compress forks until resealed. It may take up to 10 compressions. If oil seal is still leaking, repeat this process starting at number 4. Clean dust seal in the same manner as the oil seal and return to original position. Pretty easy stuff. What I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna get some contact cleaner real quick. I'm going to clean it, wipe it down one more time, and then we will start. All right, I've ran it through a couple times. Now when you run it through, you are gonna have some oil comes out of it. Now what we're gonna do is compress the fork. So I'm basically gonna stand up, press down on the handlebars a couple times, rotate it forward, hit the brake, make sure the fork compresses, and then we'll see if it has any oil. All right, we do have a little bit, so I'm going to continue the process. All right, so I've run this tool through there probably about 4 or 5 times. I just did some compressions, and it's looking good. There's not really much oil. I'm gonna do some more compressions real quick, just to see where we stand. Pretty sure it's just about good to go. Basically doing the compressions reseats the seal. So you guys can see that there's a very thin line. Wipe it down. Continue the process. Jesus Christ. I'm tired. Doing these compressions takes it out of you. Whew. Man, I am beat. I've probably done like 80 compressions on this thing. You know, compression, wipe, compressions, wipe. So do like 10 and then I would wipe, and 10 and then I would wipe, just to make sure it's gradually decreasing. So over the last 2, I did 10 compressions, there wasn't any oil. Then I did 20 compressions, there wasn't any oil. So I'm gonna do a couple more compressions on camera, so just to show you guys there won't be any oil, fingers crossed. All right, no oil, hell yeah. Whew. All right, so now we're good. We're good to put the dust seal back on, so I'm gonna do that. All right, so the dust cover is put back on. Fork is all cleaned up. Got any gunk or dirt out of there, compressed it, resat the seal, and it is hopefully leak-free at this point. I got that wire brush or the nylon brush out, scrubbed everything real good so there wouldn't be anything pushed back in there. Wiped it down a bunch of times. At this point, I'm going to clean up some of the oil that was on the outside of it, like that dripped onto the onto here, just so it doesn't get into my brakes. So I'm gonna use a cleaner for that. But that is pretty much it. This is if your forks are leaking, this is gonna be the first step that you should take instead of like taking it to Honda or something like that to basically, you know, put a new seal on there. The quote that I got was that it was gonna be $300. And this little piece here cost me $7. I will drop the link to that little Sealmate thing in the description below. You guys can scoop it up on Amazon, as well as like the shop towels and the cleaner, I guess, that I use too. If that fixes your problem, then awesome, you just saved yourself a load of money. Forks do require maintenance. They're shocks, so they're one of those wear and tear items. At some point, you're gonna have to replace them or rebuild them, or, you know, put oil back into them. But if you can get away with prolonging that maintenance by cleaning them, then, you know, more power to you. You save yourself some money. Anyways, that's how to do that. Definitely something that I learned how to do based on encountering the problem. So I'm gonna clean all this up, but if you guys do have any questions, be sure to post them up in the comments below. Just to let you guys know, I'm not a licensed mechanic. I'm just a dude in his garage who enjoys working on bikes. See the disclaimer below. Anyways, if you guys are interested in the product, like I said, check out the link in the description below. If you guys do have any questions, post them up. I'll answer to the best of my knowledge. Till next time, you guys ride safe out there. Stay vigilant. I'll catch y'all later. Deuces.